Hello everyone and welcome to another video programming tutorial. Today I'm going to talk about a topic in Swift which, although we do not frequently meet, it's proved to be quite important and useful when needed. In particular, in this video I will talk about InOut Parameters in Swift functions, something that you will find quite interesting if you have not met them before. To get started, in a new Xcode playground I'm going to add the following function. All it does is to double the number given as argument and then to return that result. I'm sure that you agree with me that this simplistic example will work just fine, as there is nothing wrong here. The function takes the input parameter value, it doubles it, it assigns that result to a new local constant, and then it returns that constant. Now, let's ask ourselves a question. What if we wanted to modify the parameter value itself instead of doing the above? To make that specific, see this new implementation of the double function, which is obviously wrong. Notice the error that Xcode shows here. It says that left side of mutating operator is immutable because number is a let constant. What this message actually says is that we cannot mutate, or in other words, we cannot modify the number parameter value because it's a constant and not a variable. And this is something that applies in general. Parameter values are considered to be constants and not variables, and we all know that constants cannot be mutated. So we cannot modify a parameter value just like that. But what if we really wanted to do that? What if it's necessary to update the parameter value directly instead of returning a value from a function? This is exactly where InOut Parameters get into play. There is a certain way to let a function know that the parameter value should be treated as a variable and not as a constant. That is to use the InOut keyword right before the parameter's data type. Let's say that we want to implement a function that calculates the factorial number of 10. Instead of returning the factorial from that function though, we'll modify the input parameter value. And in order to do that, we'll use the InOut keyword like so. The result parameter value will keep updating properly in this function because we marked it as a variable with the InOut keyword, so it can be mutated. But using the InOut keyword is just the one side of the coin. The other one is that we should prefix the argument that we'll pass to the function with the ampersand symbol. To see that, let's make use of the factorial function. At first, I'll declare a variable with an initial value. Next, I'll provide it as argument to the factorial function, marking it with the ampersand symbol. Note that only variables can be supplied as arguments to InOut parameters. If I had declared number with the let keyword, it would be impossible to use it as argument here. To verify that the number is being mutated indeed in the factorial function, let's print its value. The printed number that you see here is the factorial of 10, indeed, and definitely not the same value to the original one, so everything is working perfectly. The example that I just demonstrated contains just one InOut parameter. However, it's also possible to have both InOut and normal parameters in functions. To see that, let's suppose that we want to create a new version of the factorial function. In this one, we'll make it possible to give the number we want to calculate the factorial for as argument. See that in this new function there are two parameter values. The first one is a regular one, but the second is an InOut parameter. Note that the function's body has been updated, just because the zero number is a bit special and must be treated separately. Let's give a try to this new function too, and let's calculate and then print the factorial of number 7. In addition to all the above, it's also possible to have more than one InOut parameters in a function. See the following function that swaps the values of two strings. Both parameters here are marked with the InOut keyword, as both the original given strings change inside the function. To see it working, suppose that we have these two strings. Using the previous function, let's swap them and let's print their values. See that this and that variables have opposite values after having swapped them. So that's it about the InOut parameters in Swift functions. They have a quite specific purpose, which is to mutate the original values supplied to methods. However, keep in mind that you should be using them thoughtfully and with caution. Mutability in multiple places can be the reason of potential unwanted troubles and bugs in code. Try to work with immutable values as much as possible and modify only those that are really necessary where it's actually necessary. Do not hesitate to use InOut Parameters if they are better suited to what you are coding, as they are a great programming tool if used properly, and now you know how. Thanks for watching this video. Please use the thumb up button to let me know that you liked it, and don't forget to subscribe to my channel for more videos that will come next. Also, check out the description for a link to a text tutorial on the same topic, as well as for a link to my website for more programming content. Thanks for being around, see you next time.